Well, hello and welcome back to my channel. My name is Joanne and I'm a law student from Melbourne, Australia. What happens when politicians sue each other in court? We have that happening at the moment. We've got ousted Victorian Liberal MP is suing her ex-leader for falsely portraying her as a Nazi sympathiser. Yes, this is pretty heavy stuff. So here's where we go. The Guardian has actually done a really good background of that. And then I want to get into today, because today in court, the opposition leader was name dropping, and it was a who's who. So he was cross-examined today. Maura Deeming was cross-examined. She gave her evidence and was cross-examined at the start of the trial. But this is how we've gotten here. So it's a high-stakes defamation case, okay? So it's between Victoria's opposition leader, John Pesutto, and ex-Liberal MP Maura Deeming, and it began last Monday. So there are several senior leaders in the Liberal Party that will undergo the cross-examination. Deeming is suing Pesutto over allegedly allegations he falsely portrayed her as a Nazi sympathiser after she spoke at a rally that was gate-crashed by neo-Nazis. More than 18 months ago, Deeming spoke after the controversial rally. The 3-week-long defamation trial is underway. Here's everything that we need to know. So this is how we got here, because I think we need to know how we've gotten here. So in March 2023, there was a rally, and she was the first-term politician. She was one of the speakers at a rally on the steps of Parliament House in March 2023. The event was co-organised by the UK gender-critical activist Kelly J. Keane, part of Keane's Let Women Speak tour of Australia and New Zealand last year, which held rallies in several cities, claiming that the push for transgender rights was silencing and discriminating against women. The rally was gate-crashed by neo-Nazis who performed the Sahel salute on the front steps of Parliament. Now, that actually salute is now banned. It's actually called redeemed as hate speech, so anyone doing it now will get charged with hate speech. After the rally, Pesutto moved to expel Deeming from Parliamentary Party and made a series of comments in press releases and interviews about this. In a 3AW interview in March 2023, he claimed Deeming had associations with protester organisers who had known links with Nazi, according to court documents. Deeming initially survived a motion to expel her from the party room and was suspended for 9 months. In May last year, she was expelled in a separate motion after she threatened to bring in lawyers to resolve the dispute. She was exiled to serve as the remainder of her term on the crossbench of the upper house, but still a member of the broader Liberal Party. So she cannot represent. It means that, and he explained this in court today, under the rules of the State Labor Party, so there's factions and everything, she's still technically a member of the Liberal Party, but she can't represent the Liberal Party in Parliament because she's been expelled from the party. As far as parliamentary representation is concerned, but for all intents and purposes, she's still a Liberal. So she's actually technically an independent Liberal member, if that makes sense. And if that doesn't make sense, that's okay. It's very confusing. So Deeming is pursuing Pesutto over a series of documents, press conferences, and interviews he gave after she spoke at the rally. After her ousting, Deeming vowed to take legal action against Pesutto. In December, she formally lodged defamation proceedings against him in the federal court. In court documents, Deeming's lawyers have drawn on a 15-page document that Pesutto's office circulated to Liberal MPs and the media when he moved to expel her from the party room. So we actually have that article here. So compromise, punishment, not remotely entertained. So this is when it all happened. Okay. So it was done in the party room. All right. So we go back to here. So they've argued that he made a number of imputations, including that the MP supports and sympathises with white supremacists and neo-Nazis, and that she is a white supremacist or a neo-Nazi. In his defence, Pesutto categorically denies this, arguing that he repeatedly and unequivocally acknowledged publicly that he did not believe Deeming to be neo-Nazi or white supremacist or anything similar to that. So here's a question for you to think about. if she's suing over some press releases and what was it, press releases and comments made in the party room, so yeah, it was that. Oh, and interviews relating to his job as the opposition leader. Should you be sued for something that you've said in the course of your work as a parliamentarian? This is where I'm getting at. Now, if it was said in Parliament while Parliament's sitting, you actually do have parliamentary privilege. But if you are talking about your work as a politician, or particularly members of your party, should parliamentary should that be extended to your work in Parliament? And I'm not just saying making statements. I mean, he's done some press releases. He's made press releases. He's done interviews on it. So this is his work as the opposition leader. Should he have immunity from? Should he still be granted parliamentary privilege? I don't know. Are we then opening up a can of worms with somebody else? I've actually just posed this to general people that I know that are interested in politics, and I've had a mixed bag of reactions. Some have said, well, once you're out of Parliament, it's outside the steps of Parliament, all gloves are off. So anyway, so essentially she was that. So Postal said he would rely on the defence of honest opinion, contextual truth, public interest, and qualified privilege. So it talks about who she is. She was a teacher. And she had been elected to Mountain City Council, and she's previously criticised Victoria's Safe School program, which aims to prevent bullying against the LGBTQ plus students. So he's faced two separate defamation claims from Keane, also known as Rosie Parker, Angela Jones, a Melbourne-based gender critic activist who organised the rally. Keane and Jones alleged Prosciutto defamed the pair prior to justifying his efforts to expel demons from the party room. They alleged Prosciutto defamed them by suggesting they were associated with that. Now, in May, they actually reached a settlement with each of them and issued a public apology via online statement, saying it was never his intention to convey that he believed Keane or Jones to be neo-Nazis or with a neo-Nazi group. As far as my comments may have been misunderstood as conveying that I believed to be the case, I apologise for any hurt or harm. So, interestingly, he's been able to settle with the other people suing him, but not Moira Deeming. So the party's deputy leader, the leader of the opposition in the House, Georgie Crozier, who's another upper house MP. Also, the federal court last month ordered that former Victorian Liberal MP Matthew Bark must travel from his home in the UK to give evidence. He quit. He's just recently quit, so he's obviously moved to the UK. He was part of the leadership team when she left. The court case could pose a threat to stability of the party and Prosciutto's leadership. It's expected to expose details of how senior Liberals worked to oust Deeming from the party, and it could have some ramifications. We do have a state election next year, so can he recover? So this is the headline today. Former Victorian Premier described the Liberal MPs as disloyal and perhaps even treacherous, the federal court hears. So this is the opposition leader, John Postal. So he was naming names today. He revealed the names of some of the MPs who had provided evidence in the defamation case brought against him, Jeff Kennett, with former Liberal Premier subsequently declaring they would be dealt with, the federal court heard. Jeff Kennett's still a powerhouse in the Liberal Party. The revelation came as Postal faced the second day of cross-examination. And during cross-examination, Deeming's lawyer, Sue Chrysanthou, SC, asked Postal if he told Kennett the names of Liberal MPs who had prepared affidavits in the defamation proceedings. I think I told him some, Postal said. The court was drawn to an article in the Australian Financial Review 3 days before the defamation trial started, where Kennett said he was aware of the MPs who had made affidavits in support of Deeming and described them as disloyal and perhaps even treacherous. Kennett said in the article that those MPs would be dealt with in due course when the pre-selections are called for the next election. Asked by Chrysanthou if he was aware Kennett was to provide comments to a journalist, that describes MP as treacherous. Posito said no. Posito also said he sent Kennett and other party members some details of settlement discussions with Deeming, which did not eventuate. So they did have some discussions. Remember, it's always best to settle in defamation proceedings if you can. He said he did so to protect himself from media reports that he was being unreasonable. I felt it necessary, given my role. This is an unusual situation, told the court. I have to be able to do my job and maintain the confidence of my colleagues and very senior party officials. Posito told the court Kennett had made a contribution to his legal fees, which he disclosed to Parliament. So Jeff Kennett is actually paying for some of Posito's legal fees. Earlier, Chris Anthony told Posito he'd rung Sky News host Peter Credlin in January 2023 and had asked her to help his new chief of staff, Rodrigo Pintos Lopez, to set up his office. Posito said he may well have and did not dispute the suggestion. On becoming leader, I was reaching out widely to as many in the party as I could. I recognised Mrs. Credlin had served in many senior roles. Now, Peter Credlin was the chief of staff to former Prime Minister Tony Abbott. Some would say she was actually the Prime Minister and he was the puppet, but that's a conversation for another day. Posito said Credlin represented parts of the Liberal Party he wanted to engage. Posito on Tuesday told the court he needed to take action against Deeming to protect the reputation of the Liberal Party. Last week, the court was played a secret recording of a meeting between Deeming and members of the Liberal Party leadership team the day after the rally. In it, Deeming tells the leadership team she's obviously not a Nazi. Posito was heard say that her attendance at the Let Women Speak rally would be toxic for the party as they attempt to win the 2026 Victorian election. Oh, is it? Oh, hang on. I thought we had state. We must have federal election state the year after. I don't know. I'm a bit confused as to when they all were. Deeming was initially suspended from the party and then was later expelled. So in his defence document, Posito argued that he repeatedly, unequivocally acknowledged that publicly that he did not believe Deeming to be a neo-Nazi, a white supremacist, or anything of that substance. He admitted to conveying some imputations, including that Deeming associated with speakers at the event who had known links with neo-Nazis and white supremacists. The court on Tuesday heard that Deeming's legal team had dropped 3 of the imputations referred to in her statement of claim, including the claim that Posito defamed her by implying she was a white supremacist. So the defamation trial, which began last week, is expected to run for 3 weeks. It was interesting because last week they did have to drop some of the claims because she acknowledged that some of the claims that she had made may have been interpreted differently or wrongly. So that's what I found to be the most interesting. So this is seriously like a circus. So just to reiterate my question, if in the course of doing your job as a politician, and you are asked questions relating to the work in Parliament, should you be able to be sued for defamation? Because this is essentially somebody that got expelled from the party and couldn't reach a conclusion. This is just my interpretation. So they're wanting the courts to sort it out. In my opinion, this is a waste of time, money, and resources, and could be simply, but it sounds like, they had to have attempted mediation and settlement. That's what you have to do. You actually have to give evidence of that. Let me just have a look at the court file. This will tell us. So it is a public case. So if we go to the federal court's public records here, I'll just show you. Share screen. Here's our public interest cases here. Okay, so this is the federal court's public interest cases. Only public interest cases do we get documentation from. So we go down here. So we've got the Lerman appeal here. And so we've got Deeming versus Posito. So we go to here. And so we've got all the affidavits here. So there's transcripts here. There's her first affidavit. Some of that was thrown out. So we've got look at all of this. This is everything. So from the 28th of May, we've got 5th of December 2023 until, so then to here. So there's more affidavits here. Second transcript of second recording, first affidavit, Moira Deeming, second affidavit, first audio. So I've got audio recordings. Order, there's an order dated the 18th of September. Andrew Stephen Deeming. So yeah, we got all this. Then we've got Warren Mundine. So yeah, so there's all of these. All right, so then we've got to go to, so it says that because it's going to be live streamed on the YouTube channel. So then we go to here. Okay, click to continue. Click, click, clicky, click. So this is our list. Here's our list here. There's all the stuff there, orders, judgment. There. All right, so it says it was part heard today, the 18th of September, 25th of September, anyway, all of that. So that's all the hearing stuff. So we go back here. Oops. Okay, so we go down to miscellaneous. Okay, so I've got court events here. Finalised. So this, whatever this was finalised, dismissed. Directions order. So we've got all of this. So we've got to the 7th of October there. Here's more documents. See, not all the documents have made it up yet. Okay, so we've got the parties down here as to who applicant, respondent, the docket. So this is so there's been 2 judges so far on there. Okay, so it's Justice O'Callaghan at the moment by the looks of it. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, and then sometimes you'll get in here whether there was mediation and stuff, but it doesn't look like they've listed it here. So yeah, so that's essentially the court file. So there's a lot of stuff that we haven't seen yet. We don't get the listing of witness. We don't get to see who is the witness lists. We just have to sit and wait unless we're there. I mean, you could go there and go to the court and get the list. So tomorrow, I think it's scheduled for 10 o'clock tomorrow. Let's have a look. We go back to the French court. And fed the court. We go to court calendar. We go to Victoria. And we share this tab instead. So this is tomorrow. We've got, like, oh no, he doesn't have that one tomorrow. Oh yes, here we go. 10:15. It's live streamed on the YouTube channel, that one. All right, that's it there, just there. So he's got 2 at 9:30, and then he's got 1 at 10:15. In New South Wales, so some of these are, because there seems to be a shortage of judges, they actually, so this is like a Victorian judge doing one for New South Wales. This is a Western Australian one. They're being heard in Australia, in Victoria. So this is a Queensland one. So yeah, sometimes they take some of the others. So this one, see, they've got that one. See, Victorian Registry, West Australian Registry. Sometimes they just spread them around because they're so clogged. They're just trying to get them. They're just trying to get them through from all different parts. Victoria and New South Wales obviously have the most, but this is some more here. Yeah, this is the Melbourne one. So yeah, so this is how it all works. Anyway, that's where we are with this. It's a bit of a mess. But look, as I said, I'm interested to hear what you think about political immunity. At what point does it stop? And I mean, I think it will be up to the public next election to decide whether she should remain in. And yeah, so anyway, so I will catch you later and see you next time. And if you could hit like and subscribe, that would be great. Bye for now.